From the shadows of solitude to the pinnacle of a village, this is the story of how a boy, once scorned, became a legend. It begins with a lonely child on a swing, isolated by a secret he didn't understand. The gazes of the villagers were cold, a mixture of fear and disdain, branding him an outcast. But within this boy, Naruto Uzumaki burned an unyielding spirit. To be seen, to be acknowledged. He became the village's #1 knucklehead ninja, his mischievous pranks echoing through the streets of the Hidden Leaf village, a desperate cry for attention from a heart starved of affection. He painted the Hokage faces and disrupted classes, each act a clumsy attempt to carve a place for himself, a world that had shut him out. This was the start of a journey fueled by a simple, powerful dream to become the Hokage and make everyone acknowledge his existence. The loneliness began to recede when destiny formed Team 7. Naruto was placed alongside his brilliant rival, Sasuke Uchiha, and the object of his affection, Sakura Haruno, under the guidance of the enigmatic Kakashi Hatake. Their first real test, the Bell Test, was a lesson not just in ninja skills, but in the very concept of teamwork they so desperately needed. Through perilous missions, like their first C-rank mission to the Land of Waves, their bond was forged in the heat of battle. A fierce rivalry blossomed between Naruto and Sasuke, a push and pull of admiration and jealousy that drove them both to new heights. For the first time, Naruto experienced the warmth of friendship and the strength that comes from having people to protect. The lonely boy on the swing was finally part of a team, a family. However, this newfound light was soon threatened by darkness. Consumed by a thirst for revenge and power, Sasuke abandoned his friends and the village, choosing a path laid by the treacherous Orochimaru. The betrayal shattered their team, leaving a void that felt all too familiar to Naruto. Finding Sakura weeping, heartbroken by Sasuke's departure, Naruto made a solemn vow, a promise that would define the next chapter of his life. He would bring Sasuke back, no matter the cost. This promise set him on a new path of rigorous training under the legendary Sannin, Jiraiya. As he honed his skills and learned to control the immense power of the nine-tailed fox sealed within him, he also faced the growing threat of the Akatsuki, a shadowy organization hunting him for that very power. Years later, a transformed Naruto returned to a village on the brink of annihilation. The Akatsuki leader, Pain, had brought utter destruction upon the Hidden Leaf. In this moment of despair, Naruto emerged not as a prankster, but as a savior. His epic battle against Pain, a clash of ideals and overwhelming power, ended with him saving everyone and finally earning the one thing he had always craved, the village's respect and admiration. He was no longer the outcast, but the hero of the Hidden Leaf. This was but a prelude to the final conflict, the Fourth Great Ninja War, where Naruto stood as a central figure, leading the allied shinobi forces against unimaginable threats. The war culminated in the ultimate, tragic confrontation he had long dreaded and prepared for, a final, earth-shattering battle against Sasuke at the Valley of the End to settle their intertwined destinies once and for all. In the aftermath of their devastating final clash, lying exhausted and broken, understanding finally bloomed between the two friends. With their conflict resolved, a new era of peace began. Sasuke returned, finding his own way to protect the village from the shadows, while Naruto's journey reached its zenith. The boy who was once reviled, the child who dreamed from a lonely swing, had fulfilled his promise and his lifelong ambition. Standing atop the Hokage monument, draped in the ceremonial robes, Naruto Uzumaki, the 7th Hokage, looked out over a peaceful and prosperous Konoha. His story, a testament to perseverance and the power of bonds, became a legend, proving that even the most ostracized soul can rise to become the brightest beacon of hope.